Greetings everybody, my name is Great British Geek, and as I'm sure you are all aware, it is the end of April, which means it is nearly the beginning of May, and the beginning of May means one thing for every student in the country. Exams! Now, exams, the one word that every student hates. But I thought, since I'm going to be turning 17 in just under 2 months, that... Yeah, and so because of that, I have sat a lot of exams in my time. I'm going to be sitting more exams as of the 16th of May. But I know that if you do GCSEs, which I have done, and just about survived, that you will be sitting your exams very soon. My first GCSE exam was the 5th of May, my last was the 13th of June. And I know that GCSEs are just one giant crazy pain in the ass that just makes your mind explode. Trust me, it gets a lot worse from... Count yourself lucky. So, I'm here to share some annoying, funny and stupid experiences that I had while sitting my GCSEs, which was almost exactly a year ago, which is really scary, because now I'm doing A-levels and I'm doing really, really badly and just my life is falling apart. The first thing that I find always happens in an exam is that there's always that one student that ends up coughing or sneezing incredibly loudly during silence, and it's horrible because, like, being your average British teenager, I'm quite shy and I have a mild form of social anxiety, which means in periods of extreme quietness I tend to not make any noise. In my exams, if I had to cough, I'd just sit there like just trying to get rid of the cough, which would actually make it worse. Sneezing, I would just hold my nose until the sneeze went. I would not make any noise. Hiccups were the work of the fucking devil. But I remember this very vividly in my English language exam, which was like 2 hours long. It was my first exam, and there was always at least one person that would just let a sneeze out, or like 4 sneezes in a row, and they would just fucking rocket through the exam room, and it's like pens would fly everywhere and windows would shake, and you just be like, stop it, that's so loud, just what are you doing? No. And there would always be like just really loud consecutive sneezes, and you're just like, stop, it's so loud and so awkward, and it's just, I don't know why they're so annoying, but they were, and it was just horrible. Something else that I've discovered recently as a result of my exams is what me and some of my friends like to dub the finger dent. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to flip you the middle finger here. It's really hard to see, but there's a slight dent in my finger there. That's GCSE history for you, and probably English as well, because you're sat there and you have to write so fucking much, and I'd have a permanent dent in my finger from where I hold my pen. Believe me, it doesn't get any easier. It carries on into A-levels as well. I mean, I don't know what it's like if you're doing a college course. Oh, my dog's out there. Where is he? Come here. Come on. She's like, fuck off, you crazy bitch. You're stood here talking to a camera. But yeah, finger dents are a thing. Oh my god. Right, okay, yeah. Finger dents will happen as a result of exams, and I mean, it's something you're never going to escape, but I mean, the pen fits nicer, I suppose. I don't know, it's just something I kind of wanted to address. Something else that I found would happen, which is slightly more funnier, is what we kind of dubbed as revision bribes. Now, of course, as your exams get closer and closer, your school is going to want you to stay after school for revision sessions, which are important. If it wasn't for revision sessions, I probably wouldn't have passed a lot of my exams, so I used to go to as many as I could. But one thing I found was that you'd get bribed quite a lot, and I don't mean like a teacher comes up to you, slips you a 5 and goes, here, just come to the revision session, okay? What I would find is you'd be in your lesson, your teacher was saying, oh, by the way, Thursday after school until 5 o'clock we'll have a revision session. We're also going to have tea and biscuits, so make sure you come along. And that would happen for every fucking revision session, and before you knew it, by the end of the exam period, we all had fucking type 2 diabetes because we'd only been going to revision sessions because they were offering us biscuits. I don't really know what more I can say. Creepy invigilators. Now, if you don't know what an invigilator is, they are those creepy people, usually, sometimes they're your teachers, sometimes they're people that come in from, like, some other planet, but they're the people that basically walk down the rows when you're doing the exam and just look at you in this really, really eerie way, and they'll come down and you'll take your name. But what I found is that you start writing and the invigilator's just like peering over your desk, like practically breathing down your neck, like they're going, fail, and just just personal space, please, invigilators. And I always feel like they're just looking over you, just like this, looking over nicely and just thinking, that bitch has got her question wrong. And so, I mean, invigilators were usually quite good to look at if you finished early. The ones that used to fuck me off were the ones that used to sit in the corner reading a book. It's like, excuse me, I need more paper and you're just sat there reading a shit copy of Jane Eyre. I'm not bitter about Jane Eyre at all, because, you know, it's not like I'm forced to study it against my will or anything like that. And there is, of course, the lovely concept of pre-revision. Pre-revision is what happens when you all line up for your exam at 9:15. Your exam starts at 9. It's a science exam. You just have no idea what's going on, so you grab your science revision guide and you start flicking through everything, reading definitions out loud, thinking, oh my god, this is the nitrogen cycle, this is what happens to cells, for some reason this is what goes on in a power circuit, and you just start reading things out loud, just hoping, praying that you remember something for the exam so you can get at least 1 mark. We've all done it, and I will actually say that this kind of cram pre-revision does help. I'm not saying don't revise and don't get there at 9:15 and think, yeah, I'm just going to skim through my book, I'll be fine. Revise, but I found a lot of times in exams, especially recently with like mock A-level exams, just flicking through revision guides and things on the internet really quickly before your exam can help, because it's very likely you'll get in there and you will remember something you've just read through. So don't rely on it, but I suggest maybe do a bit of skim reading beforehand. If you think it's going to kind of mess you up and distract you, then obviously don't do it, but I kind of would recommend it, not as like a main revision source, because I can feel like the souls of my teachers shuddering going, no, revise, but just a bit of pre-revision is fine. Human sacrifice, which you're thinking, well, I mean, no, none of us like exams, but are we really going to start killing people? Well, we tried to, and I don't mean that we started hunting people down in some weird student Hunger Games, but there's always that rumour going around that you see like a lot on Wikipedia and Facebook, and it's like, if a student should die during an exam, every student in that exam room automatically attains a C grade pass. So if it was an exam we were all particularly worried about, we'd kind of be like, hey, is there anyone that just wants to take one for the team? Maybe just wants to commit suicide in the middle of exam, and just do this for us. And there's always that one person that would jokingly volunteer and go, yeah, I'll kill myself, I'll get you your C grade, but then they'd never go through with it, and then you're actually there having to rely on your own knowledge. It's like, is it too much to ask that somebody dies, or someone sets fire to something? I mean, please. And I am going to round this video off with a lovely and really fucking annoying story. It was the day of my biology exam. It was one of the sciences, and we were sat in, because we had a lesson right before the exam, which was convenient, I suppose, for the old pre-revision. But our science teacher sat there and she looked at all of us like minutes before the exam. She just goes, right, last year there was a dreaded 6-mark question on the nitrogen cycle, so don't use this time. Actually, she would have said this at the beginning of the lesson, actually. She said, last year there was a 6-mark question on the nitrogen cycle, and if you do GCSEs, you know what 6-mark questions are like. If you do PE, you'll know what the 12 markers are like, and if you do history, I'm so sorry, I know how you feel. But she said, don't worry about revising the nitrogen cycle, because there was a big question on it last year, so it's not going to come up again. So we all got revising, did our little bits for that hour before heading out for our exam. We get through this paper, we turn to the 6-mark question. What's it on? It's on the nitrogen cycle, which is the very thing she told us not to revise. And at that moment, you felt a ripple of hatred coming through the exam going, you fucking bitch! So, those were 7 things about exams that I experienced that were funny, annoying and stupid, and aside from maybe the last one, which was no, you are probably going to experience all of these, regardless of whether it's GCSE or A-level. Of course, I haven't sat my A-levels yet, I've only sat the mocks, but I've sat my GCSEs, and I know the pain that all you 15 and maybe 16-year-olds are going through, so just look, this is me and you now, this is our time together. You will be fine. I know that you have put your heart and soul into your work, and you are going to go into those exam rooms, whenever your first exam may be, and you are going to kick ass. I believe in you. Your families believe in you. Your teachers believe in you. We want you to do well, and you will do well. So don't fuck it up like I nearly did. Bye.